Yo, I'm gonna need a minute. This was holy. The fact that the show that I think anyone who's seen enough anime, the first 4 episodes, I think most people would have put this on the pedestal of if a show's gonna crash at the end game, it will probably be the Ossan Newbie Adventurer because it has the most old school feeling. It's clearly not gonna be the big budget show of the season. The fact that episode freaking 10 is running around circles every other show with action this season right now. Now, I'm not saying there hasn't been some damn good action. Hell, even whatever you want to say about My Hero Academia lately, the action's been fantastic in that show as well. But the fact that walking in to this season, I assumed Tower of God would be the show that I'm like, yep, that's going to have the best action of the season. Ossan Newbie Adventurers is running laps around these damn shows. I have full live reactions over on Patreon if you want to see my mind break in real time to this insane action over there exclusively. So, whether or not you agree with me, this is the single best animated thing or most entertaining, visually impressive thing that got you out of your seat the most. If you try to look at me and say this isn't a hype as hell fight, we can't be friends. We all can have opinions, but at that point I'd have to say you have shit taste. Because Kelvin's fight, which I guess I misread the chart. I thought it was our boys Master and Rick were going to fight each other, and then whoever wins that would fight Kelvin. No, we fight Kelvin this episode, meaning Rick has to go up against his Master. And I gotta be honest, Rick ain't winning. Unless he unlocks that trump card, his special Super Saiyan power from the flashback, I don't see how the hell he beats his Master, because it ain't gonna happen. The fact that Kelvin, on a character level, is fantastic. He could be an MC. I'm actually a bit sad we can't follow him as an MC in a spin-off or something, because I really want to see his journey. They did a great job with emotion, which that's the big thing. You can have spectacle, you can have crazy action, but if you don't care about emotion, why is the fight important? I care about Kelvin's character. The idea of naturally just winning championship after championship, eventually growing bored, you see that, but the idea that he almost took one for the team and sacrificed his own happiness to make sure, because we know from the backstory that this old man, this grandpa guy, basically saved Kelvin's life. So the idea that, you know, if he keeps one-shotting all his opponents, the gym's gonna fail. So then he starts pulling his punches, he loses, he gives the crowd a show, even though it doesn't make him happy. And I knew 100% what was gonna happen was that Gramps was gonna get out of that stadium at some point and say, don't you dare fight to your full potential. And honestly, man, I wasn't sure where we were going. Because when Rick says that he's on Senpai's level, like at the same, I'm like, oh shit, you know, it could be anyone's game here. Nope. Rick ain't beating him. I'm sorry, like, walking into this episode and most of this episode, I thought to myself, this is an anime, it has to go the route that Rick wins because he's the MC. But if he has to fight his senpai, unless I'm still misreading the chart, he ain't winning. He ain't winning at all. But man, even when he was pulling his punches, the rotating fist attack that he was doing was sick. And when he wasn't pulling his punches and he did the double whammy, this man, Kelvin, unleashed a meteor strike of death. And my boy Rick looks at that and says, oh no, this is the worst. Not because of his attack, but because that means his senpai is gonna have to go all out. I felt like the people in the crowd wanting to cheer him on. I wanted Rick, I wanted his senpai, I wanted them to lose. I was rooting for Kelvin. That's how you know you did something right. We come off of last week's amazing episode, which any other author would have butchered. They would have made Angelica this damsel in distress for Rick to say, but instead it was a teaching moment to say, shit girl, in a year's time, you keep up this training, you're gonna surpass this dumbass Geeth. You are talented. Fantastic writing, and equally fantastic with what they did with the champion here, because the champion was someone who didn't feel egotistical, stuck up his own ass, like, he just felt like a genuine guy you wanted to root for. And if this was your MC, I fail to see how the majority of people who consume this story, if Kelvin was the MC, wouldn't be like impressed with his journey. Because the idea of forfeiting and screwing over the crowd, and in doing so screwing over yourself, it wasn't done so because he was scared to fight strong opponents. Hell, he truly thought there was no one there. He reached the top, and if his own happiness being forfeited was to make the gym stay successful, which is ultimately what saved his own life, then he would do so. And the idea that at no point would he be able to go all out unless Gramps, the one who saved him, told him it was okay. And despite the crowd turning on him, because of course you've been manipulating us this whole time, there's a reason the crowd collectively said yes. Get up, one more punch, because you felt the passion. And in that moment, everything that came before was meaningless because you're seeing the craziest fight you might ever see in your life. And all of that is the reason this is my favorite action scene I've seen all season. It's that emotion, it's that writing, and the fact that it was wonderfully produced. Yeah, there's some old school techniques. Yeah, there's some static shots that are a little it's got that old shonen feel to it, but damn is the lighting, when he starts unleashing magic attacks, man, I was like, what the hell? Where has this show been? Because the show's been looking good the past month. No ifs, ands, or buts there. But it was a different level. You asked me at the start of this season, what shows I think are going to fall off visually? This would have been in a top 3 for me. Now, I don't watch everything in a season. I try like a third max of TV anime that come out. But for what I saw, I would have put Ossan, because here's the thing, as I compare, it had a Helk style to it. Helk, great anime from last year, but very visually underwhelming for many, and even though I like the old school feel to it, it was visually mediocre most of the time. That's what I was walking in, and that was my base level expectations. So because my base level expectations were honestly mediocrity visually, you can't even see my expectations anymore, baby, because that's how freaking far it surpassed them. And that is the main star attraction, but then you got the comedy. My boy Rick side-eyes a mountain, and he's like, hey, reminds me of Renette's boobs. If that ain't the true ship of the show, I don't know what is. And then you have Snape over here, basically wooing our girl Angelica. That's definitely still a ship that's alive and well. It's just he's gonna have to win her naturally, not buy her like she's a slave. Just such a good... And then the fact that Geef decided to have some steroid moments and try to run amok. This show has become amazing. Recency bias, overhyping, I don't give a shit, bro. That was 10 out of freaking 10. Let me know what you're thinking of this week's episode. If it's not your overall favorite action scene of the season, what has been? I'd love to hear it, but I think we all can collectively agree, right, that this was a banger. Let me know down below. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here, of course, ring that bell, and like I mentioned, we have full live reactions over on Patreon, and hey, while you're over there, I'll also give you a video shout out. So today we got Ishatin, Daw, Kieran Dean, Draco Burns, The Legend of Sora 73, Shadow, Trix, Bat, Floxer, and we also have Armanta. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care, and you all have a good one.